diversity pocket is something that you can add on your land that really fits a lot of needs. And it goes back to a little bit can go a long ways. This is an area right here that we're trying to fill in for deer habitat and wildlife. This is one of our best pheasant locations. There's a lot of rabbits around here, turkey nesting, and then we want the deer cover. And a lot to fill in. So it can be a daunting task at first. You know, back in the day, people would plant lines of trees through a location like this and call it a day. Well, it just produces a big monoculture. A lot of times pines, spruces. There's no food, no browse value, and even the cover is pretty poor in a situation like that. So we want a lot more diversity. You know, the other aspect, you can put native grasses in here and pollinators, put a big mix. Well, then it lays down during the fall, during the winter, and that offers no value to the critters either. So either route, when you're planting something that's just the same everywhere through an area like this, it's bad. And so what I found long ago, and this is going back to 1995, there's a pocket that I hunted in the Thumb area of Michigan, and that little 5-acre area had 5 acres of kind of a hedgerow all the way around it, and about a 3-acre pocket in the middle with some grasses and open field in there. And that would routinely hold 25 deer because there was a lack of cover in that region, in that area. It was amazing how many deer would pour out of such a small area. So when I first bought land in 95, I wanted to duplicate that. I was told quickly by the forestry consultant that worked with the county that I couldn't get cost share assistance if I planted like that because they're more concerned with boards per foot and having straight plantings of 7x7, 8x8 spacing so that you could potentially harvest and get that money back towards the state in the end or county. He also said that wouldn't match with my wildlife goals. He agreed with that. Staggered plantings were better, pockets were better. So from that point on, when I started going to clients in 05, I started talking about diversity pockets. And I started talking about, you know, rimming this area, some shrubs, some trees on the inside, shrubs on the outside, shrubs facing the south, and putting that out in the field. And that's what I found would attract large volumes of wildlife to a small area. This area right here, we've surrounded in switchgrass all the way around the outside. And let's say this area, I'll just throw this out as being 8 acres. Surround it in switchgrass, and we have pockets of briars, pockets of some cherry coming in, and really just a lot of junk and weeds. And so if we just left this to early successional growth as it's been continuing for 12-15 years, I don't think there'd be enough cover here for another 15-20 years to actually hold deer and hold the wildlife we want. So surrounding this in switchgrass, you can see the switch that we have right behind here has been a great first step. This switch is only a couple years old. It's already at about 5-6 feet high, and as you can see, it stood through the winter. We're here in mid-March, and it's a great complement to what we're doing on the inside. And we have the switch all the way around right here. The diversity pockets, again, a little bit goes a long way. So for a few years, Big Rock Trees have been coming out and helping us plant these diversity pockets, and it's something that I think that you can install on your land and get a lot of value out of. And you'll see one like this pocket right here, for example. This is a 1-year-old pocket. And you can see the two bigger, larger trees, kitty corner from each other, are hybrid poplars. The other one with multi-stems are hybrid willow. Each one of those, if you can see this branch that I'm pointing at right there, that's about how big those were to start this year. So only one season of growth right here. What I like about this and this size is we have red osier dogwood flanked on both sides, and you can see those right here, and you can see how much those grew in 1 year. This one's probably about 3 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall right here. What we find is it takes about 3 years of growth, 4 years of growth, and then it'll be that 6-7 foot size, and it'll be multi-trunked, multi-branched. Our plans with this, we want to fill in this area. We want that solid switch around the outside because that's at like the borders of like a fort around here. It protects this area. We want this diversity that you can see right back here on the inside. So we have a lot going on back in here. We have those walls of protection around. So you can see this area is pretty open. You can see an older diversity pocket right over here. You can see one of the newer ones over on this side that just has shrubs in it. The reason I like about this size, we can establish these shrubs around these trees growing in the middle. And what's great about both those trees are a little unique. Those hybrid willows, the deer will eat. And what we plan to do with those is, you can see they're already about 2 inches in diameter at that base, which is incredible for those hybrid poplars. I would say they're pushing 12 feet tall, maybe even 13 feet tall. We'll take those at about year 5, which will probably be about a 6-inch diameter tree, 25 feet tall for the hybrid poplars. The hybrid willows might be 15 feet tall, and they'll have a similar diameter trunk. We can take and we can cut the willows, cut them down, just let them fall out here, and they'll bush out at the bottom and just be an explosion of growth, and that'll help spread that hybrid willow into more trees, and will make a little bit more of a cluster here of hybrid willow. And the hybrid poplar, we can cut those, and those lateral roots will extend out. I would say in 5-6 years, we'll have roots from those out into this range right here. We have some of our older trees of aspen that are similar, where they'll sprout from the lateral roots that extend 40 yards out from a cutting, out into the switchgrass. So with that hybrid poplar extending, those shoots will come out into an area like this. So within 7 years, we'll have whips coming up this tall out here after cutting those in 5 years. Hope that makes sense, and they'll turn out into trees. We have areas that we cut on the property in another location of aspen that deer are already rubbing, with there only being 2 years of growth or 3 years of growth. They're already rubbing those because they're already 1.5 inches in diameter, growing well. So we'll extend the growth of those hybrid poplars out here, and we'll continue that, and it'll give us that ability to fill this in at a greater pace than just if we're planting these pockets. So that's what I mean by these pockets go a long ways. Even this pocket right here, these red osier dogwoods, or if we're using silky willows, hybrid willows on the inside, hybrid poplars for trees, silky willows, dappled willow, whatever shrub we're using, red osier dogwood on the back, those shrubs right there will be about this wide at maturity. So about 10 to 12 feet wide, 10 to 12 feet tall. We can cut those. We cut those main trunks on those red osier dogwood. It'll explode in growth, and that's what those deer want to eat. They love browsing that. But regardless, if you imagine this 15 by 15 square area, we'll have the shrubs growing out to this width right here, and then in the future we'll have popple coming out into here. But it really starts to fill in this space. But even without the cutting, even without it spreading, we'll still have that width going all the way around this. So it makes it 25 feet wide all the way around. So this pocket can hold deer bedding, can hold rabbits. It's great vertical escape cover for pheasants. And so you get a lot of life. And then, oh, by the way, once we get that popple established and rotating those cuttings, the grouse love it. So really good. We already have great turkey nesting in an area like this, but outstanding cover. And we don't need 30 pockets like this scattered around in this area. We have 4 of the bigger, older ones. We have 2 of these medium-sized ones, and then we have a couple of small ones back here. We'll continue the life of those. We might add a couple more in here, and you can see even over on this side right here, Jen added red cedar. Jen is behind the camera. She's gonna run the drone here in a little bit and fly over everything. But Jen, you're pretty happy to see this actually coming up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and they didn't die over the winter.
Maybe some of them did, but they all look pretty good.
Kind of goes back to, if you planted 20 in this area and we have 7 growing, that's awesome.
Happy.
Yeah, because it adds to the diversity of the plant. So you can see where the white flags are. See, there's a couple missing right here, but you get into some really good red cedar clumps right in the back right there that are making it. Once they make it through that first year, they're going to do really, really well. So we love the fact that we can grow these. We can protect them. These are about 8-foot fence posts, pounded 2 feet in the ground, heavy duty snow fencing, and then of course landscape mat to keep all the weeds out of there. I can say these bigger 30-foot diameter circles we have up here, we planted those in a drought year. They're probably, Jen, what do you think, 60% to 80% there, depending on the pocket?
Yeah.
Some we had better success than the others, but that's out of you and Wes especially watered these about 12 times that year during the drought. And it was so critical with watering those that drought year that we had two places that we did not water because we forgot about. And in those two places, Gold Rush and Buck Corner, we had all of the shrubs die in those locations in a year where that first year we had about 80% survival of the ones we watered. So we forgot to water them just the first 2 times out of 12 probably, and they all died. That's how critical it was watering them. Last year, this one right here that's growing incredible, and we have a lot of growth like this with these hybrid poplars all the way around, and hybrid willows, our red osier dogwood are all doing great. 0 watering. So we didn't have to water those at all, just showing you a difference of years. Now, once these are established well, I still want at least, and especially just for the red osier dogwood, I want at least 1 more year of growth, even though on these that are really good, maybe 2 years. So this fence will end up being here for either 2 or 3 years, and then we can take it down, and if we want to move these and establish a pocket over there or there, then we can do that. And I would encourage you, and even Big Rock Trees, Tom and Seth would encourage you, let's say you want to put a total of 12 pockets in an area like this, you know, and I would put, I would say that about 1 to 2 per acre in a location like this would be great. But if you had 12 pockets to put in, say 6 acres, then I would not put them all in at 1 year. I would stagger those out so that you spread out your risk. You don't put them all in a drought year and then you have to fight it. And we have the ability with Wes, our employee, and doing this for a living, that we have the ability to come out here and resources to water these. But even then, that was about a day and a half times 12 watering throughout that. You took about a day and a half to water 200 and whatever shrubs, and then also we had trees to water that year too, and Norway spruce, about 250 of those. So it was a lot of water. It took a day and a half total to water all of them, and a lot of effort and resources expended to do so. So anyways, we'll take the fence down here eventually, get rid of the landscaping mats, and let them go and let the deer feed till their heart's content, because once those roots are established after 2 or 3 years, they can't kill them by eating it. They'll eat them down. It's a renewable resource that is a high quality, high end product you can put on your property in very small locations. And again, we're filling this entire area in with all these goodies in the middle, switchgrass surrounding it, pockets of red cedar here, down there. We have some pockets of spruce in here too. And we're letting it go, and in the future we can cut this and expand the goodness out here, because the deer love to eat the hybrid willow whips too. So this area is already turning into a great wildlife area, and we'll love watching it transform along the way, and I hope you are too. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. I really want to remind you about our food plot seed company, Pure Wildlife Blends. I even have clients that don't realize we have our company, but the food plot seed blends are flying off the shelves, and that's a great thing, and that always happens this time of year. I encourage you to check out everything. Again, purewildlifeblends.com, links in the description. But at the same time, we always carry inventory. So if you are the type that puts it off to the last minute, order it in July, we'll have it. But in the meantime, check out purewildlifeblends.com. We have a lot of different seed blends, pollinator blends, wildlife blends, switchgrass, everything that you need to plant great food plots and great wildlife plantings this season.